Good morning, Mike. Friday morning on the
Yo,
fly.
Yo,
There you go. There's the
my
classic.
shirt on.
So this morning we're together on a Friday morning because yesterday there was a break from Rich Layton, and Layton Sports Cards and Blez Brothers. It was being touted as the largest break, the most expensive break of all time. I think it was like $40K a spot. It was a 25 case flawless break basketball, and it's getting a lot of clutter
Attention.
in my social media feed.
A lot of attention. Yes.
Yes. And I think you and I both watched the break and to a certain extent, like pieces of it, and we're texting each other, and it's definitely not our style. But I wanted to get your take on kind of the direction of that particular break. And are breakers going too far? Like, is this hobby going too far to get clicks? Because that was kind of the take I got last night. What were your immediate thoughts when you saw the break?
Well, if they were going after clicks, it worked. I mean, the video has 57,000 views on it after a half of a day, right? A day and a half, or 3/4 of a day, 18 hours. The video itself is 7 hours long. The break took forever. Which of course I didn't watch, but a sliver of that, relatively speaking.
Yep.
Caveat or full disclosure, I've literally participated in 2 group breaks in my entire life. Both were with Layton, and they were baseball transcendent breaks multiple years ago. Like, I haven't done one in 2 or 3 years, but I have participated in their breaks before. So I don't know them at all, like personally. So it's always hard to make it. And this is the rush to judgment that I think is very dangerous in our social media world, is people make assumptions and rush to judgments about people. They don't even, if you don't know Rich or his team or whatever, hard to speak to character. But that being said, they had this video with, the ladies clad, in essentially bikini tops, and which is probably going to make people that haven't seen it want to go see it now, right?
Right.
It's a disturbing trend that I guess you have to make yourself stand out in the breaker world. There's so much competition, and it's the margins are getting thinner, I would think, and all of that kind of stuff. So how can we be distinct? How can we be unique and different? Mission accomplished, if that was their goal. Right. They certainly did. And they were in Vegas, right, at the Mint Collective,
Yep.
Event that's going on this weekend. So Vegas, showgirls,
Right.
It's not completely. If they did that, in rural Iowa, that would probably be a little more weird. But they were in Vegas. That's not necessarily an excuse for how they did it.
Right.
I just wonder why. What's the point?
Yeah.
Why do you need to do that? Why do you need to have that as part of a break? That's my only question. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. So first off, I know Rich. I've talked to Rich many times, interviewed him multiple times on the show. I've texted with him for years, and his wife, Sarah. They're very representative of the hobby. Like, started with nothing, worked to build something, and they've done a very good job of that. So I think it's kind of a shame to a certain extent that they're kind of getting looped into this. And they even came out with an apology today. You can go check it out on their Twitter feed. And it sounds like, from what I'm seeing, they were even kind of taken back by what they walked into. And I mean, Blez Brothers, I will just go out and say, I thought it was a disgraceful performance. Like, if they were the ones that set it up, the guy ripped off his shirt. It didn't have a really good vibe. But look, at the end of the day, you and I won't participate in something like that. Like, that's never the world I want to be in. But when you got 57,000 views and 700 likes, and you got the guys like Backyard Breaks who are constantly having 300 plus people in their whatnot room every single night after blatantly ripping people off. the hobbies to the point now where they realize they can get away with a lot and the market won't really punish them for it.
Yeah. If you think about who's really, do you blame the guys trying to bring attention to their channel, or do you bring the guys giving them that attention? Right? Is it the
Yeah.
chicken or the egg? Right?
Yeah.
And we all, I can only control what I do. You can only control what you do. Right?
Yeah.
And that's just not a world I want to be a part of. There are plenty of people out there that eat it up. And so if that's something where I don't even want to say against it, it's just, I don't think it's necessary. That's all. I just think it's unnecessary. But there are obviously plenty of people that find that intriguing, interesting,
Yeah.
exciting, whatever word, whatever adjective you want to use. Or is that an adverb? I don't know.
You're asking the wrong guy. I'm not a grammar
Right.
guy. You know that. But no,
But
I
what does that
agree.
say about our hobby, right? What does that
Yeah.
say about, dude, we're just opening sports cards. This isn't,
Yeah. Yeah. I think what I get annoyed with the most is when people try to be somebody they're not, to appeal to a certain group of buyers, and it is a little worrisome that we're seeing this more and more, especially recently, because it makes you think that the sports cards themselves can't sell now. So they have to objectivize something else and like persuade people to come in with something else. But I mean, there was a $40,000 buy-in. Like that was not for the common man. This was appealing. This is an entertainment piece that they were doing. And yeah, I'm kind of disgusted. I didn't like the way, I don't like the way women are portrayed in that situation, period. Right. I get it. Like they were paid. Those women were probably paid and they were probably okay with it. They were in Vegas, but it's just not the look for the hobby I think that we want. And by Layton apologizing this morning, I think he completely agrees. That's not the look that we want in this hobby.
Well, you follow Twitter way more than I do. What was the general consensus response from the Twitterites out there?
Yeah, I mean, look, it wouldn't have mattered if he would have came on there, with a G-rated version of this. There was going to be people that complained. People were going to complain about everything. But I think for the most part, there was a pretty big backlash of people just saying, do we really need this? Like, this is not what I've seen from you for decades. And now we're doing this. Like, are we at that point in the hobby? And of course, there's the people pushing back and saying, stop getting bent out of shape about a couple women in bikinis, right? That's, you're getting that little bitter fight going on between people. But yeah, I think we're going too far. We're getting to the point where we're starting to go way too far with stuff.
The reality is it's not that big a deal. I can walk to my pool across the street and see women in bikinis. So it's not like that's the issue necessarily. It's what's the point of that in a sports card break, I guess would be. I mean, the women weren't, they were just standing there, right? It's not like they were doing a striptease or something, to enhance the viewership, but still, it's like necessary, probably not.
Yeah.
I got a deal, probably not too, honestly. That big a deal, meh. But
yeah. I got a text from someone this morning and I thought it really summed up how I feel about this. And he said, I'm starting to realize more and more that people in the hobby view short-term profits more important than their long-term reputation. And that's becoming more commonplace, and it's kind of sad, especially when the reputation isn't even dented when they do something that rubs people the wrong way. Because if it really rubbed you the wrong way, you wouldn't go spend money with them again. And you know what? A couple weeks from now, you'll be spending money with whoever it is that it rubs you the wrong way. It's just the way human nature is right now. It's kind of ridiculous.
Short-term memory. We all have it. I mean, look at what we do with athletes who abuse their spouse or drive drunk or what, they do things all the time, and we're quick to forgive if they can hit a home run or score a touchdown or whatever, if they can provide some value somewhere, then we're quick to forgive. And I'm a big believer in forgiveness, right? So it's not about not being or wanting to forgive someone or give someone a second chance or an opportunity to redeem themselves. All of those things are virtuous. It's just, why put yourself in a position to need that virtue? Why,
Right.
I don't want to do something where I need forgiveness. Although I've done things on YouTube, by the way, that I've needed forgiveness for. But
yeah, for sure.
Grace is important.
Yep. Nope. And I think it's why I want to make sure people know, like, years of talking to Rich and Sarah, right? And I really hope that this is one of those things they just learned from, and their apology was heartfelt, because I think they are really good people in this hobby. It's a shame that it got to the point where people felt a little sick last night in their stomach. Right. You shouldn't have that for a view of that magnitude. I mean, a break of that magnitude. But we're not trying to be the moral police here, right? Like, I want to be careful, because 57,000 views in 16 hours shows that a lot of people want to take the time to watch it. It's 8 hours long. So,
yeah, totally agree. All right. That's our thoughts, I guess. We'll,
love to know what you think below. That's right. On the fly. Put your thoughts below, folks. Let us know what you think. Like, are we overthinking this? Should it get more attention? What do you think?
All right. We'll catch you guys soon. Keep collecting.